when we were looking into getting the new extinguishers to put out these lithium batteries, I spoke to a supplier and I said, "Oh, what's the mechanism?" And they were saying, "Well, the fire brigade was saying that if a battery catches fire, it's got to be submerged in a big tub of water for at least 2 weeks before they see that that's safe." And then you got these new extinguishers come out, which form like a gel, which basically coats. Yeah, it just sits there. And then again, they say you should leave them for a few weeks. But it just shows like the power of the lithium. But to put it in perspective, it's like you can have a lithium. Like people say, "Oh, throw water on a fire and put it out." Obviously, we've touched on it before. That's not the case. But if you submerge it, it can still burn. They're a very, very hot, extremely hot fire.
And it's also that thing of lithium batteries are in a lot of portable devices.
They're in everything.
And we're bringing them in.
Yeah, they're in your pockets. They're in
the thermal reaction in your pocket's the last thing you want to have.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then sitting in a bucket of water for 2 weeks. But apart from...
Find in a hot tub then.
Yeah, bubbling away. But yeah, it's just... We can't underestimate them.
Yeah.
Put it that way. And I think they'll become more and more vapes have got a type in them.
Well, look how many car fires there is now.
I know.
It's crazy.
And
you see them, the fire brigade are closing off roads, trying to put them out, and you just got to let them burn and submerge them with water for weeks.
I mean, as technology goes on, they'll all overcome it probably. But in this aspect right now, I think there's a lot of things that we can use.
Yeah.
To cancel out the risk.
Yeah. I think that's what you've got to do. I think that's the biggest topic at the moment, really, isn't it? The lithium batteries. But we try and get all of our guys trained to do everything. So then we are sort of lowering the time on the job. We're lowering the inconvenience for the customer as well. But like, I don't know if this is like an industry thing or if it's just us, but we want to try and get every one of our guys certified in fire alarms, risk assessments, emergency lights, just so they can do more. Because obviously, if we're on site and we can give as much advice to the customer as possible, then they're going to go, "Oh, I feel like I've asked for this, I've got it, it's done. I can put that to bed." And knowing that if they ever need to ring us, they can ring any one of our guys and we can go, "Oh, well, you don't need that. You need this." Or maybe you need one more, you need more and less. That's what we try and do, because we're trying to expand our knowledge, aren't we?
And I think knowledge is key, isn't it? I think as a company, as we expand, we're going to need more people with them key skills. And if everyone's got like a foundation of the skill, then it can only be a benefit to the company and to current and new customers. And I think that it's a great way to have it. Universal.
Yeah.
Everyone has a little bit of a skill in somewhere. I mean, there'll be someone who you can still ring up, a colleague that you can ring up and say, "Oh, how do you do this? How do you do that?" And they'll be like, "Oh, bish, bash, bosh."
Yeah.
Well, a bit more detailed than that.
Take it off and on again.
Yeah. That's it.
You don't.
Or like the funds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it helps. It's a massive. It's all about that consistency again, and it's what we need to have, and that's what we promote: consistency. So, like you say, you could ring one person up, but you might still get the same answer from another. It's just some people might just be able to give you a bit more detail, but then basics, foundations will be in place. Yeah.
So you found like much, like if you've gone to places where they've had a fire, or you've heard about having a fire and you've seen what impact that's had on like commercial premises, things like that?
Yeah, I was at one a couple of months ago, and someone had actually tried to start the fire at the side of the building, and the staff had come out and used every extinguisher possible on the fire. But the fire brigades did say that they had stopped the possible burning of the building. Obviously, arson was discussed and things like that. And then the following day, someone had actually tried to break through the front door of the building as well. So someone was intent. And I find that when I've been doing like the say, fire warden training or anything like that, people are quite surprised and relatively took back by when you say that arson's the biggest reason for fires in especially commercial buildings.
Yeah.
But we're seeing it in domestic buildings, like in revenge ways and things like that. But people are very surprised and they're like, arson? Like they'll always think it's just going to be a fire that started in a
kitchen.
In a kitchen.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to that thing where you're probably aware of a fire in your kitchen where you're never going to be aware of arson, are you?
No, not at all.
Something that comes through the letterbox or
something from a letter.
Harry Potter or something. That's on fire.
I'll be an owl.
Oh, yeah. An owl can be a box on fire. Oh, my God.
Sorry, owl.
Or extinguisher used to put that out.
Yeah. Well, who gives a hoot? But you're right. People are more, I think, like I say, I'm just took back by when they say, oh, that is a thing. And it is, but even more so now. And I think because of, since COVID and things like that, financially, business have like started coming back, but some have struggled. And then you hear of like a building suddenly burning down and stuff like that. It's something that we need to be aware of. Like, I make an emphasis of it all the time in the risk assessments to just, especially in a big commercial unit. I know any size property can be affected, but especially the bigger ones. And that's where it comes in that it's beneficial for them to have fire wardens to do the daily checks, the weekly checks going around the perimeter of the building and things like that. And the thing with arson is it might not happen all in one go. Someone could be chipping away at a fence, literally, to get into the property, but that might take weeks. It might, but they're that intent, but it's just making sure that we notice these things. But it's something that I think may be on the increase a little bit more. It's just being aware of the signs, I think, and that's what it's about. Have you had any?
We've had it where it's like skips and stuff. So people don't realize how far away from the building you're supposed to have your skip. You think, oh well, I'll just have it outside. If I put it in my drive, people aren't gonna come back and put rubbish in.
Yeah.
But realistically, then you're endangering your house, because if you have it in your drive, everyone will just throw stuff in there anyway. And then hot works, anything there, most of the stuff put in the skip's going to be cardboard, wood and stuff, unless it's brick and things. And then that can spread with that to life. That's spread straight to your house. Even worse if you've got open windows.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, but people don't think that. And also the skip drivers often, they'll just drop it off and they won't tell you. They'll be like, oh, by the way, this could be a risk. They'll just stick it on there and there you go. All right, sound.
I don't think people, a factory I was in a couple of months ago as well, they'd just had a skip fire. That wasn't arson, but that was materials being mixed in the skip that shouldn't have been in the skip. And someone threw the hot welding remnants into the skip, and someone had been throwing the dinner stuff into the skip, and it caught alight, and the whole skip went. It's just, it's awareness again.
Like awareness, procedures, get it in place. But I mean, there's a massive raise with bin wagons in there.
Yes,
they've gone. This fire they keep mentioning on the TV and stuff, saying that like people need to stop putting batteries in them because batteries out. They're going through the roof. How many fires they're having again? Which is the batteries again, isn't it?
I know.
But mixed with arson.
And it takes ages to get your bins collected to start with.
Oh, I know.
Never mind the burn out.
After a fire, they won't take them.
True. And then like leading on from like the arson thing, it's again just us being aware, even in your own house, residential house, just being aware of them fire safety precautions you can still take in your house and things like that, and arson comes into that. But also just simple just to keep your house safe. And take them fire precautions. Like I would suggest most people would have a fire blanket in a house.
It's so simple and so cheap. It's just no brainer, isn't it?
And what job they do is amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's people as well. You can wrap people in them, can't you?
Exactly.
So if that owl does come through your letterbox,
wrap it up,
wrap it in the blanket.
as long as it's not the invisible cloak.
Oh yeah, there you go, guys. I've lost it and it's on fire. Yeah, that'd be brutal.